Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 8 of What If Naruto Was half Viltrumite and half Kryptonian. Don't forget to go ahead and check out anime symbol of What If Naruto Was the King of Curses, Sukuna guys, and enjoy that. And remember, for new, yes I indeed have 4 channels which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy, so go ahead and smash that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Don't forget to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you guys. All the links for the other channels will be down in the description, so go ahead, check them out, and yeah, enjoy. So without further ado, or wasting any more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. So the last part that we left off, it was a battle royale. Yes, they were supposed to get their opponents out of the ring. Once they did that, they would commence further if they stayed inside after the 1 hour mark. Something was going on though, as Naruto's family was there watching him. Something strange. Naruto was jumping. His body was not reacting as he usually did. As Naruto was afraid, he come to realize. And in a state of fear, Naruto was actually feeling pain that he should not feel. As all the members saw it fit to gang up on him, seeing that he was here alone, and they believed that they could take him out. So they attacked him all at once as Naruto was being overwhelmed and knocked down. Until he heard his sister. Throughout all of the commotion and chaos, he heard her. His mind started to refocus on what was going on. He blew all of them away as he got up and started to launch them out, showing that they stood no chance, one after another, as he knocked and threw them away, that they were nothing compared to him. Everyone thought that it was a ploy, that he did this just to bring them in to do that, just to show that he was that much stronger than them. It was rather surprising. So with that done, it came to an end. Yujito had been watching him the entire time, as she did not interfere in the battle. She also stopped her team from doing so as well. With that finished, they were going to be doing one-on-one matches with the members that remain, as they were selected to fight. The first fight was actually Naruto versus Kurosaki, as this was good for him to show her that all of her threats meant nothing to him. She went with a tactic of staying away and using explosives, but she soon come to realize that they stood no chance, as Naruto was just too fast for her. He was too strong for her, as he was able to get by her explosives. He then finished it off with a punch to her stomach that knocked her out cold. Naruto watched him match off Yujito, and she was fast, extremely so. Her speed was something else. As he watched the other matches take place, however, she was good, and the problem that he had with her was a necklace around her neck. The only thing that can actually hurt him to an extent, more than actual hard attacks from higher ranked ninjas, that can make him easily wounded. He was still young after all, so his body had barely had time to adapt or grow. While the tournament was going on, Orochimaru was trying to find a way to replicate the blood of these things, because they were definitely not humans. However, he was failing on all fronts, but he had Naruto blood, and he was sure that this person was also immensely powerful as well. As Orochimaru was curious though, who exactly it was. He was trying to find this individual to see what they were truly capable of. Back towards the fighting area, Naruto took out a guy with one punch. Once he was done with that, the numbers trickled down into finals. Oniki was not pleased in the slightest as his whole team was eliminated. However, many of them did notice things with this son of Minato, abnormal things. Lucy was also there cheering him on, as her mother saw how much she cared for him. As she had met and spoken to Naruto, he had also been the one to save her daughter. He was a very kind-hearted boy, and she liked that about him. So with that, Naruto stood in the ring, as it was time for the final match. As he had faced off against the others, and he was now here. His last match was Samui. The girl was good, but she had him as an opponent, so he came out on top. He was now in the finals to face off against Yujito, as the both of them started to throw down. She had noticed. She said that she first thought he was a pervert looking at her chest, but she soon came to notice that he was looking at her necklace. Somehow this was causing him pain, as they started the battle. The strange thing though, one might think that Naruto would be afraid because this was just like what happened with Doomsday, and he was getting his ass beat. But that was not the case. He was actually enjoying this. Yes, he was enjoying it, as this will give him the opportunity to fight on more equal levels to show that even without the full capability of his power, he was still a force to be reckoned with. As her and him clashed violently, as the real battle went on. While that was going on, the children of Thrag were searching for their brother. The world was large, yes, the universe. So it would take them a long time to find him, but they were on the hunt, searching to find Naruto, and they were coming. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the please check it for yourself. Don't forget to go ahead and check out the other what ifs of the other channels. And I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So yeah, without further ado or wasting no more time, let's jump right into this, shall we? Begin now guys. All of the spectators were at the edge of their seat. They came here to see Jennings match it out, but this was far more than they expected. Yujito had tapped into the power of the two tails. A tail was swishing behind her. Green and blue cloak mixed together. The green was coming from the gem that she was holding onto, which was a kryptonite. It was having an effect on her chakra, making her actually stronger, as the tail beast's chakra was behaving erratic. And the problem was Naruto was hurt by that. So you can expect him to be a bit bloody by now, which he was. And he had never actually bleed that much. His sister never saw him in that state. She was afraid for him. However, her mother told her that he will triumph. He will be fine. Just to have faith in her brother, which she did. But the battle was more than what anyone expected. There was a lot being raised for Kumo and Konoha. The Raikage could see the people. There was many wealthy business people here, watching to see the future of shinobis. Everyone's eyes were glued down on the battle down below. Many came to see, some spying, to see how the new generation will match up to the old, and this was spectacular. Both of them were blown back after another devastating blow. As they looked at one another, Yujito could tell that she was going to lose. The more she hit him, the harder he hit. His body was being affected by this thing, but somehow he was still fighting her. Was it his sheer will to go on? Why wasn't he falling? It doesn't matter how much time she hit him. It doesn't matter how much he bleed. The problem was, his hits hurt far more than hers. She had several broken bones that the Nebi was trying to heal. He, on the other hand, despite the blood, the moment he stepped away from her, his body seemed to be recuperating faster. Over the other side, Naruto was looking at her. Her body was breaking down. It was only a matter of time now. However, he was fighting to go on. Not only was that power around her immensely strong, hurting him, but that damn green rock was making him weaker. It was completely weakening his body, making him susceptible to her attacks. He had to end this quickly, otherwise he will lose. That is when her power skyrocketed, as Naruto's eyes widened as he felt the pressure. Meanwhile, "Are you sure about this, kitten?" "Yeah," said Yujito. "I can't lose. So yeah, take control. Just defeat him," she said. The green rock was swallowed up by chakra. As everyone watched in shock, a violent pressure settled over the entire arena. The monstrous power of the two tails started to take shape. Yujito gave up her control over to the Nibi, knowing that she would be the one to win this. The place was silent as everyone watched. The massive beast growing in size. It was a good thing that it was so large and distant away from the people. Not to mention the barriers kept them protected. But could it protect them from that thing? Two wishing tails smashing against the wall. A tail beast. Over to the side, Mito looked down. This was her first time seeing a tail beast. Her mother had told her all about them, and what was inside of her. She'd known that for a long time now, but this was her first time actually seeing one. She started to tremble a bit. A hand was resting on her shoulder. "Everything's gonna be alright," said Kushina. However, you could hear it in her tone she was worried. Naruto was being affected by the green rock, and now the girl just gone and get a whole lot stronger on him. How would he fear? Yes, she was worried as she glanced up, her eyes meeting with Minato, who looked down and actually seemed worried as well. This was a lot for Naruto to handle. It doesn't matter how much he's been able to do in the past. The odds were stacked against him. Lucy was worried as well as she looked over. She didn't want him to get hurt anymore. He was already in such a bad condition. And this thing, she could tell that he was extremely powerful. Down below, the thing spat blue flames towards him as Naruto moved out of the way. They crashed into the wall behind him. His mistake was looking back, because the next thing he knew, a paw smashed into him as his body bounced off the ground and slammed into the wall. The 10-year-old Naruto was pressed against the wall as he slowly started to peel off, only for two tails to smash right into him. The Nibi had split the tails and slammed both of them right into him in the center. As Naruto's body collapsed on the ground, she then spat a huge ball of blue flames. However, Naruto's eyes snapped open as he moved. It exploded upon contact. Naruto was floating in mid-air as he looked down towards the thing. His shirt was torn. His pants was torn as well. He was panting. He brought his hand up. As another blue flame was shot towards him, he clapped his hand together, releasing a force that blew it away. The Nibi roared. As the force blew Naruto out of the sky, the thing then leaped despite its size and came crashing down on him. Naruto was crushed into the earth, causing many people to gasp. The thing then applied more pressure. The ground was breaking under the force. Green flickers started to be shown through its body. The kryptonite was still inside, weakening Naruto. As a red beam tore right through the leg, causing the thing to hiss out in pain and step back. Despite his body look like it was made from flames, it was actually hurting it. It was once again slammed by the red beam, only for it to open its mouth and release hot, intense blue flames. The both of them clash in the center as Naruto yelled, releasing more from his eye sockets. As the beast released more flames from its mouth, the two of them erupted together, releasing a wide burst that blew the both of them away as they slammed into the wall. The Nibi quickly rose back up as Naruto slowly get back up as well, as the both of them looked at one another. Before they moved forward, Naruto flying and the Nibi leaping, boom, they collided in the center. Every one of the spectators kept their eyes cleanly on the match. This was the most spectacular thing many of them has ever saw in their entire life. They traded blows. As Naruto's fist made contact, the beast knocked him away. A violent blast followed by a devastating blow. It was chaotic and destructive as well. The both of them were sent sailing back once again after another collision, as Naruto locked his eyes on the beast, who growled. Naruto clenched his fist tight till a vein started to pop up in his hand. He clenched his fist even tighter, sending majority of his strength down into it. His body was shut down if he fails. He was too tired. It was a shock that he was still going. Many of the ninjas couldn't believe it. This boy was trading blows with a tail beast. A tail beast that could wipe out several dozen squads of ninjas like it was nothing. And yet here was this boy trading simple blows. Only an S-rank ninjas could do something like that, and yet there he was. This time the both of them launched themselves at each other. They knew that it was the final shot. The shockwave was immense. The wall shook and broke. The barriers destabilized. Ninjas quickly flocked in front of the crowds, jumping to protect the daimyos and their people as well. The force shook the entire place. The ground exploded. The heavens quaked as the two mighty beasts, because he could no longer call him a man, trade the final blow. It caused a rippling shock that swallowed through the entire stadium. Everyone held their breaths to see the final victor. The smoke and dust started to clear, and there he was, standing tall, his head looking down. Small tiny shards of the green rock was all around. It had exploded upon that last contact. As Naruto was standing tall, Yujito was unconscious on the ground. He knocked her out. He knocked the tail beast out. The crowd exploded in cheers as the proctor jumped down there. As Naruto slowly raised his right hand to the heavens, the proctor announcing him to be the winner. Not even a second after that, his body collapsed, face first on the ground, unconscious. He was out cold, but he won. He won. Every one of the ninjas knew it at that moment. The power had once again shifted Konoha. It was always there, but now it had completely turned, taken away from all the nations. The fight was magnificent, yes. Don't get me wrong, but the son of Minato Namikaze was able to knock out a tail beast while transformed, and he stood tall afterwards. This was something that would be spreading in a matter of days. No one truly expected him to actually win that match, but yet he won. Kumo had a great representation though, but still, he knocked out a tail beast, a 10-year-old child. That was beyond expectations. Time skip. Earth style. Mud bullet. A ninja shouted out, former ninja of the Hidden Stone, now hired gun. He spat several bullets out of his mouth, yet they were all bat away with a hand. With a hand. The man was finally able to see who it was that had invaded their area. His eyes went wide in fear and shock as he stepped back. It's you. The one they call the Superman. He backed up. In front of him was none other than Naruto. Time has passed, yes, a few years, since the Chunin exams took place. Since then, his name has went all around. Many people had tried to assassinate him, believing that his strength was, well, fake. In their stupid mind, they believed that they could actually take him down. However, the problem was, there has been some speculation that he had a weakness. Something that would make him susceptible to any attacks. A green gem. There has been a few who somehow got their hands on them. Naruto had turned them into mincemeat with his heat vision, making sure they knew, well, there would be no more spreading of that rumor. He has grown in height. He cut his hair short. Right now he was in his uniform. It was fitting on his body perfectly. After all, his home planet technology was light years away from the elemental nation. Naruto stepped forward. He was now 17 years old, and he had grown up rather handsomely. Him being the son of Minato, his name was already big. However, he made a reputation for himself. They started to call him Superman. Two names to be exact: Invincible and Superman. Super because of the things that he could do, and his invincibility. Yes, his name has spread far and wide. There has been hundreds of marriage contracts. Yes, many people, many important people offering their daughters, but they were all declined though. Minato didn't want to force something on his son, and besides, there was already someone that Naruto liked. His activities to protect the village had not stopped. Naruto had been searching for that monster that he fought some years ago. However, he had not seen it since. It had been like it was some sort of mirage, a dream that he had. But he knew that it was reality. He still remembered the pain that he had felt. The first time he had actually felt that amount of pain. But since then he has not seen or heard anything about it. Danzo was another thing as well. The man had came to him with a gift, stating that he could help him. Danzo had shown him several people that meant to harm Konoha. He had gave him information, and Naruto had to say, once he checked them out, they were true. The man was reliable. He did told him that it doesn't mean that he was working for him. But through the past couple of years, the man had hand off some work that would help keep the village safe. Despite the intentions that the man had, Naruto knew deep down that he just wanted Konoha safe. And that was all that Naruto wanted as well. So for that, the both of them agree. As Naruto would do whatever it takes to make sure the village is safe. And Danzo was the same way. Yes, he would do whatever it takes. Right now, there was this new chemist. That is what he was called. Who was causing problems around the elemental nation. He had this drug that was causing a lot of deaths. And people were still taking it. Some people did not understand the futility of their efforts, believing that it was the right way. And Naruto was here to stop him. He had to admit it was Danzo's efforts that led him to find this man. The man wanted to operate in a blend of fire to spread it inside the area, but Naruto would not. Allow it. As Naruto walked forward, reaching the man before he could even make another step, he slammed his head into the wall and tossed him away. He then walked forward as he grabbed the metal door and twisted off its hinges. The moment he did, plants, roots, slammed into him and threw him out. That is when someone emerged. As Naruto got back up to his feet, it was a woman. She had orange hair, green eyes, and she was wearing a strange green dress that seemed to have plant extensions on it. As Naruto looked at her, that is when he noticed something. He reached up and touched his face to see. What the hell? He was bleeding. The cut healed almost instantly, but still, Naruto was surprised. "Who are you?" he asked. She smiled at him. "Oh, me?" she said, as Naruto watched the roots and plants start to move on their own. He realized that she was the one controlling them. He was surprised by that. The only man to ever control plants and roots like that was the first Hokage. Well, there was another within the village, but that was completely different. "I am just someone who is tired of mankind. I want everything to return back to what it was. Nature," she said to him. "Nature." "Who exactly are you again?" said Naruto. "You may call me Poison Ivy," she said. Poison Ivy. With an ability like that, I'm surprised this is the first time I'm hearing about you. "Oh, I'm new," she said. "So tell me, Poison Ivy, you want the world to return back to what it is. Why are you here working for the chemist?" "Well, him and I have a deal. As long as I get what I want, he can get what he wants as well. I don't really care what happened to him after I get what I want though. Until then though, I can't allow you to hurt him." "Well, you're gonna have to stop me." She chuckled at that. "I was hoping you would say that." Plants erupted from everywhere as they shot towards Naruto. Naruto flew straight up in the sky. As he watched, a gigantic Phoenix flytrap rose up. She was on the head of it. It shot its tongue out towards him. What the hell? As Naruto flew away, several vines shot towards him as he flew and turned in mid-air. His eyes turned red as he shot his heat vision, burning them. He then flew down and smashed his fist into the thing's face. She almost fell off, but a vine grabbed her and threw her towards him. She reached out to touch him, only for a green toxin to spew from her palm right into his face. Naruto fell from the air as he crashed on the ground. Taking in deep breaths, green lines started to appear over his face, going all over his body, as he realized what it was. That damn green rock. They had named it not too long ago, after the planet that he came from. Kryptonite. How was her plants emitting that? Wait, these abilities that she possessed? Could it be that she somehow got powers from the rock? That made no sense. As Naruto coughed violently, only for him to be slammed viciously. He was sent sailing through the sky. His hands and legs were then grabbed as he was held up in mid-air. He was still coughing. She created a spear out of nothing but vines as it was pointed toward his chest. "Now I have you," she said. As she looked him over, "I know that face," she said. "You're the talk of the town. The invincible one. But I guess you're not that invincible," she said. She was about to fire it until Naruto shot his heat vision right into her chest. She screamed out as she was blasted off her plant, causing her spear to move and shot. As Naruto tilted his head, it tore across his cheek. He then gripped onto the vine and ripped it off his hand. Using his heat vision, he burned the other one off. He then flew. Naruto tear right through the Phoenix Flytrap head and burst to the other side. As he slammed his fist in the ground, stopping himself. He then turned his head to find her, but she was gone. Damn it, he thought to himself. He then glanced over the area before. His X-ray vision activated as he saw. He flew forward, tearing through the building. Naruto crash landed in front of a man. He had orange hair and dark eyes. He was holding on to a briefcase. Who are you? The chemist said. As Naruto looked towards him, he had two guards at his side that jumped forward. Naruto freezed them with his cold breath before he flew through them and grabbed the man by his throat. He then flew him through the building. He held on to him as he did before he threw him. Boom! He slammed against the rough stone as it pierced through his back, tearing through his chest. Naruto turned his sight upon the briefcase as he used his X-ray vision to look inside. He then flew up into the sky as he released his heat vision, burning everything in sight. A distance away, Poison Ivy was brought to an area as she was spat out by a plant. Her chest was burnt. She was in pain. The place that she was brought to had flowers from all kinds as they wrapped around her. These weren't any normal flowers though. They started to heal her. All around in the flowers were kryptonite, the rocks all over, with a mixture of senjutsu. She was special, of course, as her body was getting stronger. As she said to Naruto, she was new at this. This was her first time actually even teaming up with someone else. She has been protecting the land by herself. However, none of her victims ever survived to tell anyone of her. But this was her first time stepping into the light and teaming up with someone that she well didn't care for. And she got hurt. However, the earth was making sure that she wouldn't get hurt so easily anymore, as senjutsu and the kryptonite pumped through her veins. And she was not the only one. Time skip. Mito was just returning home. She has grown over the past few years as well. On her forehead was a proud headband of Konoha, displayed proudly. She was placed on Team 7 with Sasuke Uchiha, her rival, and one of her best friends, Sakura Haruno. It was recently, around a couple days ago. However, she was not pleased. The 13-year-old was far from happy. She was upset, to be exact. As she returned home, she actually slammed the door as someone came out of the kitchen eating a sandwich. It was Naruto. "And what's upsetting you today?" said Naruto. Mito glared at him. "It's really unfair and just stupid that we have to do all of these D-rank missions. They're nothing but a waste of time." As Naruto raised up a finger, "Actually," he said, "D-rank missions are..." "Don't," she said, giving him a harder glare. "Don't tell me the importance of D-rank missions and teamwork and all that. I've heard that 1,000 times now. And I simply don't care," she said. "They are boring." As she stepped away from him and went to the fridge, causing Naruto to chuckle. "It's not funny." "Well, you were always the one saying that you do any kind of missions when I told you about D-rank missions." "Yeah, that's my own fault. I never had the chance to experience them, so I never knew that they were just so boring and a waste of time," she said. She has really grown in the past couple of years. Her view on many things have changed. My cute little baby sister, said Naruto, all grown up and already frustrated with doing missions. It's not just any mission, she said. It's the D ranks. Everyone go through this. It's just a matter of time before they see how awesome you are and put you on something better. They should have seen that a long time ago, she said, folding her arms. I want to be challenged. I didn't spend the past couple of years busting my ass so I can get ready, only to be stuck doing these D-rank missions. I mean, come on. Painting houses, cutting bushes, walking dogs. Those are a complete waste of time, she said, sitting down. As she saw the amused look on Naruto's face. Stop giving me that look. Tell you what, said Naruto. How about I take you out for some ice cream? I'll pass, she said. As Naruto placed a hand to his chest. I'm hurt. You've grown so much. You no longer idolize your own brother. You used to love when I take you to go and get ice cream. 1. I'm not a kid anymore. Well, you are 13. I'm a ninja, she said. 2. I still love you, she said. 3. I'm just not in the mood. As she walked away. They grow so fast, said Naruto, as he turned to see his mother returning home. What's going on, said Kushina. Mito is experiencing D-rank missions. Kushina seemed amused. I know exactly what she's going through. You haven't told her about what happened when you did D-ranks, right? No, said Naruto. Good, she said. That will just make her more angry. Yeah, I know, said Naruto, as he saw her with some groceries. You know I could have gone and get that stuff, right? She waved him off. Since you became a Jonin, you're always busy nowadays. This would just seem like a hassle for me to call you to go and get groceries. Nonsense, said Naruto. I love doing things for you, he said. And that is why you're a wonderful son, she said. But I enjoy taking strolls through the village as well, and meeting up with some of my friends, she said with a smile, as Naruto sat back down at the table, as he took a drink. So, she said, with a teasing smile, how's your girlfriend? Come on, Mom, said Naruto. Kushina walked over as she poked him. Don't come on, Mom, me, she said. It's one of my quirks of being your mother. I get to embarrass you every now and then. It's pretty fun. You will understand once you start to give me grandbabies. Her saying that made Naruto blush even more, causing her to chuckle. Time skip. Naruto was flying through the sky. However, this time he was not alone, as he was holding Lucy bridal style. She's grown in the past couple of years. She's turned into an exotic, beautiful young woman. As she smiled towards him, the current was loud but he could hear her quite well. You know, as much as I like you flying me across the world to go and have dinner, I would have been happy to have dinner with you anywhere, she said. As Naruto spoke, his voice reached her ears. What can I say? In my mind, you deserve the absolute best, and that is what I want to give you, he said, making her blush. As Naruto had made some reservations. It was a rather expensive location that he was going. It wasn't a village, more like a city. The place was highly protected still, as Naruto flew her there. Since the Chunin exams, he had started to visit her a lot more, and their connection deepened after that. It happened one night they were on the roof of her home. Flashback. As the both of them gazed up towards the star, as she was just looking up there, he looking as well. They felt safe and comfortable around each other, like they could express and tell each other everything. Well, not everything for Naruto's part. There was parts of him that he didn't want anyone else to see, not even the people close to him. She glanced over towards him, yet her gaze did not meet his. "I wanted to ask you something," she said. "Yeah," said Naruto. "What are we?" she asked. Naruto was confused. "What do you mean?" he said. "Are we just friends?" "Just friends?" "I'm not sure what you're trying to ask." A blush came on her face. "Well, I was wondering if you see me as someone else. Someone that you can be with." "Well, of course," said Naruto. "I'm here with you right now." "No," she said, raising her voice. "I don't mean like that." Naruto knew what she meant, however. A part of him was telling him to deny how he felt. And that was because of the things that he has done. A part of him believed that he did not deserve to be happy. And yet, despite him telling himself that, he found himself coming here to visit her constantly. And now she wanted to find out what they truly were. They spent a lot of time together. Unlike most people their age, they were a lot more developed, mentally that is, to understand that they were more than just, well, they saw each other more than just friends. Naruto wanted to say that, but it was hard. Very so, as he didn't want his actions to taint anyone. He didn't want someone to find out about that part of himself that he kept locked away. A part in his mind that he never wanted the people close to him to see. Yet, he could not help the words that slipped out of his mouth. "You're more than just a friend to me," said Naruto. "I care about you deeply." He couldn't help it. That is when he felt her hand wrapped around his, as they held hands. "I think of you the same," she said. "I just wanted you to say it first," as she smiled at him, meeting his gaze. As he smiled back at her, as they held each other's hand for the entire night. In the flashback, the first time they kissed each other was when they were 15 years old, as Naruto had asked her out on an official date. Of course, his mother had met her, as he had brought her to the village. And his parents had met her mother. And well, the daimyo, his father of course met the man. And his father only talked high praises about him, and so did the daimyo, for when Naruto had saved her. And his mother and her mother got along rather well. They went on a date within the village, to one of the most expensive restaurants, as Naruto wanted, well, he wanted everything to be perfect. And after that date, they shared their first kiss. Since then they have been solid, yet they haven't taken that other step forward. However, the location that Naruto was bringing her, as he said that it was a city, it had one of the most best hotels. The place was a popular area for rich people, daimyos, dignitaries, and all sorts of popular people went there. She knew about it, of course. However, despite the background that she was raised in, she didn't like all that much fancy stuff. Not to say that it wasn't nice, but she just wanted to spend time with him. However, he only wanted the best for her. So they got there. As they checked into the hotel, Naruto made sure to get one with 2 beds, as he wasn't exactly expecting anything. It's not like he was gonna force her. That is something that she liked about him. He's never forcefully brought up any topic as such, despite they've been together for some time now. She didn't even know if she was ready back then, but now, well, tonight was different. They went out and had a wonderful meal. The both of them had this connection that, strangely enough, just fit. As they always have things to talk about, always have a way to express themselves amongst one another. The only thing that Naruto has not told her was his nightly activities. He told her everything else. Who he really was, where he came from. And that was a guarded secret. But despite all of that, he didn't want her to see him as a monster that he became. When he fought darkness. When he did what it had to be done to protect the people that he loved. The Uchihas that was still on him. After that meal, they returned back to the hotel. As they spoke, each beds were big enough for two of them to be on one. As she sat at the edge of his bed, she glanced towards him. As Naruto just looked at her, the both of them shared a kiss. As a deep and said kiss. However, this one was far more longer than the others as they broke apart to get air. Naruto looked into her eyes as he asked, "Are you?" She nodded her head. "I've been thinking about it for a while. And I'm ready," she said. "Are you?" she asked. Wanted to know if he was okay with this as well. As he nodded his head, even though he was a bit nervous after all. He's never done anything like this before. And in the ninja world that was oddity, but still. She was someone that he truly cared about. Something then popped into his mind. A rather awkward conversation that he had with his father about protection. And his father was right. It's a good thing that he kept it with him always. As the both of them spent the night together. It was confusing at first, the both of them being new, but as they went on, it was a good thing that Naruto learned how to fully control his strength and fully kept himself at bay in terms of certain actions when he ended up going a bit overboard. Yes, it was a very good thing. The next morning, the both of them woke up against each other. And they felt at peace. Time skip. Naruto had no idea how they knew. But his mother and father seemed to just know what happened. And no one told him, they just know. Her mother seemed to already know what happened as well. Maybe it was a parent thing. As they were acting a bit different, they took that step. Both family members were supportive of that. As long as they were staying safe. They were still too young. As much as Kushina might joke about everything, she had set Naruto down and spoke to him about safety. She raised a decent young man after all. Time went by after that, as Naruto kept on seeing his wonderful girlfriend. His popularity only seemed to rise over the elemental nation. He was a jonin of the village hidden in a leaf. He has went on many missions with almost everyone. Hana had been promoted to Chunin some time ago. However, she took a different route, as she was a veterinarian. Kutetsu and Izumo were at the gate, as they were always on gate guarding duty. They might always say that it was boring this and that, but they loved it. It was much better than going out and risking their life on several occasions. And this was fitting for them. They were also a part of the protectors of Konoha after all. It doesn't matter how you swing it. At the moment, Naruto was at home when Mito burst inside. "What's wrong?" he said. As he followed behind her, she was running upstairs. "I have to get packing," she said. As Kushina came out from where she was. "It's my first mission outside of the village. I got a C rank." After 2 months of hell, she was finally gonna go on a C rank mission. Now it was Kushina's time to be an overprotective mother. It was just natural. Mito had to sit down and listen, just as Naruto had to sit down and listen. As Kushina went over the safeties of going out there on her first mission. Kakashi Hatake was their Jonin sensei. He knew that the team had to be protected, and he would protect them with everything that he's got. However, moms always have to be moms, and Mito understood that. At the end of it though, she hugged her mother, and she hugged Naruto. It doesn't matter how old she got, she loved her family, as they told her to be safe. As Naruto placed a hand on his mother's shoulder, "Everything's gonna be fine," he said. "I know," she said. "I just can't help but worry." Naruto had went to visit his father after that, to talk about a few things. The Chunin exams were being held at Konoha, a few months away from now, and that would be quicker than expected. Time fly past really quickly after all. In the meanwhile, Naruto decided to do a mission outside the village. As he got an A rank from his father, he headed out. Unlike most, Naruto did not need the assistance of backup on most of his missions. He has a stellar record, extremely so. As he made his way out of the village, headed off, as Mito and her team made their way on their first C-rank mission. Meanwhile, that was going on. With the snake Sanin, Orochimaru has been up to it for years now. However, his experiments had came to a bitter problem. The blood that he had found, the other one, it could not be cloned. No matter how hard he tried, the blood was just unable to be cloned. He was not sure who it was from. However, he had speculations. Minato's son. Yes. Minato's son fit the description of what would have been able to fight Doomsday. Perhaps the boy was also not from this planet. Yes, that must be the case. Orochimaru was not sure if that was true, but it all fits with the things that he's heard. The boy was said to be invincible, having strange abilities that he used without even wielding hand signs. Doomsday has gotten extremely strong over the past couple of years. Orochimaru was not worried. However, he has not transformed a lot in the past couple of years. The last time he did transform, several of his subordinates were slaughtered. It was harder to stop him. Orochimaru was trying to find a way, a fix, but nothing that he could find would work. All he needed was to have the boy bring Konoha to his knees. Maybe he will have to end his life in his human form because Orochimaru did not know how long he could keep control over him if he were to go fully berserk. Now, as strong as he was, Orochimaru feared the repercussions of him and his army that he had gathered over the past couple of years. Yes, he feared what would happen. The more Doomsday fought, the more he adapted, the more he grew, the more he strengthened. All he wanted was just for him to rain destruction on Konoha. After that, perhaps he will have to put him down. Maybe. However, that was not the only breakthrough that he had. These green rocks. It was not a lot, but some people has been infected by them. As Orochimaru made his way down the hall, he had more people on his side than ever before. People that he found alone, broken, afraid of what they've done. Orochimaru arrived towards the monitor room. As he switched them on, he had cameras on all of them. The first one was Carmelian. This boy could reflect light at the perfect angle, which made him invisible. He was shocked when he found the boy. He was actually sneaking in, trying to steal from him. He was an orphan alone, with extraordinary abilities that he didn't know to control. It was a few years ago Orochimaru found him, 4 to be exact, and he helped him, and now said boy was loyal to him. But he was not the only one though. This girl, Orochimaru called her Jump. as he named them towards their ability. Of course they have normal names, but he preferred it this way. She could teleport. Yes, any place that she's been before, she could teleport rather easily. This was an extraordinary ability. She might not be the strongest, but her ability was great. There was this other boy. He was called Electro. He had control over all kinds of electricity. He was vastly powerful. And the last one, he was known as Mimicry. He could mimic any kind of jutsus. Similar to the Sharingan, he could simply mimic any attacks, any abilities, any kick genkai. There were limitations to it, but still, it was amazing. Orochimaru was sure that there was a few others out there. They were few, but their abilities were amazing. He gave them a home, and he gained their loyalty. He was building an organization of these extraordinary people. With them under his control, it would be easy for him to commence his new goal that he see in the future. Something that would put him beyond immortality. Something that was just... He chuckled darkly as his mind was on a better goal. One that he would see to fruition with these abnormal people that he found. There wasn't a lot of them, but there was enough. And with them he will rule. Yes, he will rule, he thought to himself. Time skip. Team 7 went on their first C rank, which ended up jumping up to an A rank. They came back, different people. Even Mito came back with a better understanding of what it means to be a ninja. As Naruto, her entire family was there for her. She was different. Her dreams, her goals, everything that she had, she put them in question as she saw the truth of the ninja world first time. Naruto was glad that she saw it. Of course he wished no harm on her, but he wanted her to see how truly dangerous it was. Yes, the world was dangerous out there. And she had to see it with her own eyes. Yes, she had to. And now that she had, she can learn and grow from it. Yes, her Nindo to protect the precious people towards her. Everyone she cared about. That is what Naruto has been trying to do for his entire life. However, his methods were different. But Mito was strong, even for her age. Jiraiya had been in the village a few times, trying to help her to learn how to control the power within her. However, it was hard to do so. Other than that, she's been learning from everyone within the family. She already knew what her affinity was. She already had several jutsus under her belt. The most thing that she was lacking was control. And she was getting better and better each day. But it was one of the hardest things for her to accomplish. But she had the mindset of never ever giving up. While that was going on, Naruto enemies were getting stronger. The Waterfall Village was a large place. It was one of the only villages that possessed a tailed beast that was not one of the Great Five. At the moment, underground, where the hero water lie, the ground cracked as a small plant rose out of it. Said plant turned larger and larger and larger until it opened for someone to step out. It was the now named dub, Poison Ivy. She stepped towards the water. The moment she did though, alerts went off. There were seals around the perimeter. Several ninjas came down. "Hold it right there," they said, drawing their weapons and read themselves. How did she get down here? One of them asked. Because she had to pass by them up there. It made no sense. She turned towards them and raised her hand. Vines exploded out of the earth. Plants rushing towards them, grabbing them in their hole, squeezing them. She did not spare them. She was growing fast and getting stronger. She took the hero water as she once again got swallowed by her plant, and it took her away underground, vanishing. Yes, they were growing in strength. All of them. Yujito had spent the better part of the past couple of years training. She had grown exceptionally stronger. Her defeat to Naruto did not. She didn't like it. Everyone was saying that that boy was a freak of nature and that he was okay, but she was disappointed that even after transforming she failed. So she threw herself into hard work. It wasn't just her though. Kurosaki had lost and she was disappointed in herself, greatly so. So she also threw herself into hard work, spending every single day training and getting stronger. Yes, everyone was growing in strength. However, the organization known as the Akatsuki was also making their move very soon. They have been plotting and waiting, and their job was to go after all the TLBCs. However, their mistake was Mito was the brother of Naruto, and she was a Jinchuriki of the most powerless. So to get her, they're gonna have to take on Konoha, which means taking on the Superman. While that was going on though, another problem was coming to the Elemental Nation. One boy, well, he couldn't be called a boy anymore, a man, as he seemed to be in his early 20s. This man was Naruto's brother, an older brother of Naruto to be exact. He looked humanoid. As the more Viltrumites grew, even if they were reproduced with another species, they would become full Viltrumite by the end of it, the more they grew. They have been searching for the better part of the past 6 years. And now finally, well, they did not know, well, he did not know. He finally came across a planet that they did not search. Its other siblings were all spread out. The universe was vast and unending, so he was the first to arrive here. And that was the Elemental Nation. As he decided to go and check it out, as they were looking for their brother. Even if he has grown attached to the people on the planet that he resides in now, their father gave them one goal to do: bring him back by any means necessary. After all, their father had his plans to make the empire great once again, and they would not fail. So with that, the half Viltrumite made his way to search this planet, unaware how lucky he was going to be, and at the same time, very unlucky. But guys, to be and subscribe right here. If you want the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.